5 years ago, I made a film about the Chinese influence on the Italian fashion industry. On that investigation, I discovered that the Chinese migration to Europe has roots in Paris. The first wave of migrants came to sell goods at the 19th century world fairs, and then many decided to stay on afterwards. With the Olympics only a few weeks away, I'm here in Paris to start a journey to investigate how the Chinese are involved in this major global event. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah, so
Hi.
that's my colleague DJ.
Okay, DJ.
Hi.
I'm Jessy. Glad to see you.
Yeah. I arrived in Paris with just one contact, Zheng Jiaxin, a Chinese expat whom I was told had taken a 2-week annual leave from her job at the postal bank in France to volunteer as one of 45,000 people supporting the Paris Olympics. I'm keen to find out why she wanted to get involved and what she knew about other Chinese expats' involvement in the upcoming event. Jiaxin has agreed to meet me during her lunch hour. So why you decide to want to be a volunteer for the Paris Olympics?
Oh, it's a good question. Myself, personally, I do love the voluntary service activities. I think it's a major international event this time. And the Paris Olympic Games is just will be held in the city where I live. And it's also the 16th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relation between France and China. And I think it's a really good opportunity for me because at the beginning, we are just come to Paris. I do receive a lot of kindness and help of others to help me to settle down, to find a job. So this time is my turn. Even I have to sacrifice 10 or 15 days from my vacation time, but I think it's very worth it. I'm very exciting because I was too little for the Beijing Olympic Games, but this time I do be a member of the Paris Olympic Games and in my second home, Paris.
I asked Jiaxin about other Chinese she knew who were involved in the games, and she told me about Jessy. Jessy was raised in Paris by her Chinese mother, and recently made headlines in France by winning a number of martial arts trophies at just 16. She has been selected as one of 11,000 torchbearers who would form the relay to bring the Olympic torch through to the opening ceremony. I called her mother and set up a meeting at the gym in a Chinese neighborhood in northern Paris. I understand that you will, in some way, involved in the Paris Olympics. You will be the torchbearer for the Paris Olympics.
Yeah.
Maybe you can tell us a bit more about that?
So first, I'm gonna carry the torch for the Olympics on the 22nd of July. It will be in Étampes, it's near Paris. I will run 200 meters, I think, with the torch, and I will pass the flame to someone next.
So, was there a particular reason that you were selected to be the torchbearer in the region that you are from?
Yeah, they wanted people with athletic background, and then I did a little promotion video on Instagram where I show what I do with wushu and other things, and I think they like it, so yeah.
You're demonstrating the Chinese culture and you're carrying the torch as a Chinese French at the Paris Olympics. How do you feel about that?
It can be wonderful because it shows the mix between Chinese and French, like a connection, and China helping for the Olympics. It's great because it shows that
we can work together. We can make a better future, better world together.
Yeah. The collaboration. Yeah.
Jessy mentioned that much of the Olympic judo and wrestling equipment was made by a Chinese company, and I was keen to find out more. Seine Sports started as a small family-run business in 1978, and it has since become a global leader in their field, serving 7 Olympic Games in various capacities. I called their Paris office and arranged to meet Zhang Lulu, their country representative, in front of Eiffel Tower.
Hey, Zhang, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So it's good to see you. Thank you for agreeing to meet us. I understand that Seine Sports is actually supplying some of the equipment to the Paris Olympics. So I just wondered whether you could take the opportunity to show us around and then to point out where the venues are, if that's okay.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Let's go.
That's good. There's too many people here. That's like I always feel very uncomfortable. So maybe tell me a bit more about Seine Sports, your company.
Seine Sports was founded in 1978.
Yeah.
And after 40 years, very hard work, and we have served 7 Olympic Games, 3 Youth Olympic Games, 7 University Ada, 7 Asia Games, and thousands of international championship and domestic sport events.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, so now we become a global renowned brand.
Yeah.
That set and leads the international sport equipment standards.
Yeah. And then, so this is where we are, right? This
Yes,
is how...
this is our venue, and this is called Grand Palais Éphémère. So it's a temporary structure.
Yeah.
And it's about 10,000 meters squares, and designed by the architect Jean-Michel Wilmot. So during the Olympic Games, Olympic and Paralympic Games, they will have judo, wrestling, para-judo, and wheelchair rugby.
And also the equipment will be provided by Seine Sports.
Yes, we'll provide all the equipment for the competitions. We will provide 2,100 judo mats with high-tech and eco-friendly mats embodied by chips in it. So it's the first time to use the technologies for the judo mats.
Standing in front of the Eiffel Tower, I was reminded of its connection to the first wave of Chinese immigration into France. When the tower was built as part of the 1889 World Fair, Chinese merchants from Qingtian, Zhejiang, came to trade the stove carvings at the fair whilst learning about the latest technology of the time. Now, 135 years later, it was the Chinese showing off the latest technology to the rest of the world. I put the question to Lulu.
Yes, I agree with you. Back in 1889, it was exhibitions for all other countries, to show their strengths and their products. But we are very proud that today it's a Chinese brand. It's just in front of the Eiffel Tower to show the Chinese strengths.
I felt I had made an important connection between the state-of-the-art judo mats under the Eiffel Tower and the Paris World Fairs at the end of the 19th century. Although a little tenuous, Lulu told me that Seine Sports is just a small player compared to some of the Chinese tech companies involved in the games. She suggested if I really wanted to make the connection, I should talk with them. Alibaba Cloud, one of Alibaba's subsidiaries, is a major provider to the games, supplying state-of-the-art cloud computing and the latest AI innovations to power the back-end of the operations. By luck, there was a big tech event in town, and Alibaba Cloud was set to hold its major international summit the very next day. After some frantic calls, I managed to secure an invite, so I put on my best clothes and went along to the event.
Yes, here in Paris, we are supporting Paris 2024 Olympic Games. And we have been collaborating very closely with the International Olympic Committee, as well as different...
The MC brought Mr. Ilario Corner, the Chief Information and Technology Officer from the International Olympic Committee, on stage. laughed a few jokes at the start of his speech.
I look at that picture and I says, okay, I lost a little bit of weight, so it's good.
Mr. Corner outlined the integration of Alibaba Cloud into the running of the games. Before finishing his 15-minute slot, he brought up the new technology of the time, AI.
Olympic AI agenda was launched on April 19 in London, and it was really a vision that we set up to say AI will be entering the world of sports. So we need to set the path forward for the Olympic movement.
As the short talks came to an end, the room was reset for dinner, and I scoured the room to find someone who could make sense of 2 hours worth of complicated tech talk. I found Alibaba Group's Strategic Development President, Chris Tung, who told me that to truly understand the Chinese innovation behind the Olympics, I needed to go to China. It was only there, he said, could I appreciate the scale and innovation behind these new products and meet some of the next generation of engineers who were shaping our everyday lives. So I booked a ticket, and early next morning, I was on my way to the next part of the journey.
In this episode, I've been introduced to a number of different ways that the Chinese are getting involved in the Paris Olympics, from volunteers and torchbearers to the companies that are providing cutting-edge sports equipment and a digital infrastructure. Join me in the next episode as I travel back to China to find the roots of the Chinese communities here in Paris and meet the people behind some of the technological innovation that is driving the games.